Welcome into Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I'm Eli Gain, the site where the Indiana Pacers lose their season opener by a final of 141 to 135 in double overtime at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who they lost to in the NBA Finals just a few months ago. We all know how bad that the Pacers wanted to get this victory. They talked about it throughout the week. They know that there's changes with the team, specifically without Tyrese Halliburton for the entire season, and so it's going to put guys in different roles throughout the year, right, and trying to lean on each other a little bit more to get these victories. I will say the first 2.5 quarters in this game, maybe not the most entertaining. Then once we got to about the middle of the third, that's when it became somewhat of a tennis match in terms of you're kind of just looking at each team kind of going back and forth at each other. You look at Pascal Siakam when you want to narrow it down, hits a game-tying shot under 10 seconds to go in regulation. Same sort of thing happens at the end of overtime 1, where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander misses a game winner to force the double overtime. And then that kind of leads me to Benedict Mathurin. When he fouled out in that second overtime, that's when the Thunder really took this game by the throat. You look at Mathurin finishing in this game with 36 points and 11 rebounds, so a double-double for him before he fouled out. I mentioned Pascal Siakam already, 32 points and 15 rebounds. And at the end of this thing, you sort of start to run out of bodies and you run out of gas. And for the Pacers, they were putting in a difficult situation in this game. Andrew Nembhard, basically the only true point guard that they have on the roster, with TJ McConnell and Halliburton, being done for a significant amount of time. He had to leave at halftime and did not return in the second half, which forced guys like Ben Shepherd. You look at the rookie Talon Peter kind of coming in and doing a couple of different things where Carlisle mixed some things up with the offenses that he was able to run. I will say that they fought like hell. That's what the Pacers do. We know that's a culture that they've built up over, under Rick Carlisle since he came back here for a second coaching stint. We saw it all throughout the playoffs last year, and so some familiar faces here that are used to, kind of pushing through things and making things difficult for their opponents. Unfortunately, in this one, in the season opener, it was against the defending world champions in the Oklahoma City Thunder. I must say, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, once again, he had a career-high 55 points. He was 23 of 26 from the free throw line. A lot of free throws in this game. And then you look at Aaron Wiggins kind of contributing. He had 23. Ajay Mitchell off the bench with 26. And then for the Pacers, Obi Toppin with 20 off the bench. I mentioned Shepherd. He had 15. Jarris Walker trying to get some more points as well. He had 13. So it all led to a pretty thrilling finish here. Gainbridge Fieldhouse was on its feet, but unfortunately walking out of here with their heads down maybe a little bit in terms from a fan's perspective. But for the team, well, they're proud of the way that they fought, but again, ultimately disappointed they didn't come out with the victory. After the game, we caught up with Rick Carlisle, Benedict Mathurin, and Pascal Siakam.
I'm not talking about the refs. If I talk about the refs, I'll get fined an exorbitant amount of money.
Ben and Pascal working in tandem for much of crunch time, much through the game. How have you seen them, both tonight and throughout their time together, kind of grow as a partnership of running actions together?
It's the first time we've ever done it. We invented it in the second half in a timeout, and we're going to have to be inventive on a lot of things. Because this thing with Drew's shoulder, it's we'll find out more tomorrow. He's going to get some tests done, but this is going to potentially present some big challenges.
Just to keep going on that, I mean, what, beyond even just getting the Ben Siakam actions together, I mean, just what all did you guys kind of have to do on the fly in that circumstance? Obviously, Ben Shepherd and Talon Peter picking up, point guard minutes at that stretch. I mean, just how did you guys have to kind of retool completely, I guess, at halftime to make everything work?
Yeah, I mean, you learn over the years to keep things as simple as possible. And the guys did a great job. A lot of the game we're just playing basketball and we're trusting our guys to create. And then they just kept marching to the free throw line. And when that happens, you can't. It takes the pace out of the game, and it becomes more difficult to get shots. And so Yeah, they shot 50 free throws, right? Yeah, 51 free throws. And, there's at least 25 times where, we're unable to get any tempo going because, we're standing there and they're setting their defense. So they did some good things to get to the line. But I'm not going to talk about the refs.
What impressed you about Ben on both ends? Obviously, he's is picking up Shai for
he's taking the toughest matchup on the planet at one end, and at the other end, he's putting the ball in the basket, and so you can see the growth. The reads are getting better and better. With everything he's doing offensively, and they're the NBA game defensively has become a read and react game too, and he's improving there. So a lot of good things.
So what impressed you about Shepard and Walker, especially in the second half when Shepard's playing point for most of that, and Walker obviously had some really big buckets for you?
Yeah, I mean, look, we need those guys. We trust them. They've both played a lot over the last couple years. I mean, Shep's played more than Walk probably, but Walk did a lot of things to earn trust last year and during preseason this year in training camp. So, I mean, those guys did a lot of good things. Is that it?
No, Rick, I'm sorry, one more. You mentioned making up something on the fly and during timeout. As much as you're willing and can you, that's fascinating. Can you give a little detail about
No, I can't.
Okay.
I can't. Thank you. You got something, James? Yeah. I don't think you need this microphone. You are a radio guy now.
Yeah, like a little bit. Rick, you had a sequence there in the third quarter. Taylor Peter dives on the floor. I think Obi picked it up. He runs to the corner. You get a three. Like, how much do you think those types of plays kind of define who you are? And
yeah,
I think it's clicked so quick with him.
I mean, this group is, it's grit, and grit is what our makeup is going to have to be this year. There are going to be a lot of challenges, and we've just got to be willing to take on these challenges on a long-term basis. I mean, there's not going to be any sugar pill or panacea to solve the challenges that are going to be coming every night. And so we're just going to have to have an attitude of loving, the challenge of how difficult the NBA is, when you're not whole. And especially right now we're down playmakers, so but we'll look at the film. It's a pretty quick turnaround. We'll try to make some simple adjustments and keep working at getting better.
How frustrating was it for you to not be able to finish that game?
Man, it was tough, man. I definitely would have loved to finish that game. I mean, I had some fouls that weren't the best, so just got to be smarter about that.
So you talking to an official late after you fouled out? Did he give you any explanation on that sixth foul that you seemed to not like?
Not really. We just kind of discussed about, what I could have done. And like I said, you just learn from those situations.
Rick said that the actions between you and Pascal were kind of invented on the fly today. What do you feel like you guys did so well in tandem to keep getting to the rim? And is that something you feel like you can keep relying on throughout the season? For
sure. I mean, Pascal's a great player, so I know he can score and play make. So, and for me to get the ball in my hands and going downhill and create something out of nothing, I think that's one of my best gifts.
To keep going on that, just how much did you guys have to create on the fly with Drew out, basically, certainly not knowing he wasn't going to be out at that point?
Sure.
What do you guys have to put together at halftime?
I mean, I think we have guys on the team who, who can just go out there and make plays. That's the blessing of our team. Fortunately, Drew got hurt. I hope he gets better very soon. We definitely miss him on the court, but pretty much just have to have the next men step up.
You mentioned, obviously, the matchup with Shai. Just what was it like to be able to go, on offense, you're being guarded by Lou Dort, who obviously you go back forever with, and then you're going up and get Shai on defense. Just, how much did that kind of drive you, just having each of those matchups on each side of the court?
It's a great question. It's a lot. I mean, being guarded by one of the best players in the NBA and guarding the best player in the NBA, was definitely a challenge. But I mean, I'm in for it. You know, it's the first game of the season. We have 81 games left. You know, so like I said, just going out there and getting ready for next game, man. We got a game in 2 days.
I mean, considering that part of it, 1 out of 82, I mean, just what are you proud of for how your game came together individually today? Just as far as the shots that you were able to get, how you were able to get to the rim, how you were able to get to the free throw line. Just what you like about how you were able to attack?
You know, there's some good stuff. I believe in my ability to create shots, and I mean, you know, we could have been better. I think that I could have done a better job at, you know, getting my feet, getting my hands, and staying down on a few things. And but I mean, I'm not really into myself, you know, a lot. I'm really trying to do the right thing and win the game, man. That's what matters.
About Talon and Ben Shepherd having to get thrown in some tough circumstances, but drew out.
Sure. I mean, I'm very, very happy for him. You know, I'm happy that Talon got his first NBA points. You know, it's a big achievement. And, you know, Ben Shepherd as well, playing very well. I mean, he's always been ready, man. You know, he was out for a minute. He didn't practice for a long time. And just for him to come to the game with confidence and playing as hard as he did was amazing.
And Ben, I know you said you're just kind of looking to make the right play, but it seemed like you were being really aggressive, especially hitting the shot to force the second OT. Just were you looking to get your shot? Did you feel like you had to kind of take on more of a scoring load tonight?
For sure. I mean, I think I had like I said, the ability. Very, very confident. Very, very confident. Just when I had the ball in my hands, just to make something happen. And you know, I was fortunate enough to make you know, a few good plays tonight. You know, I'm looking forward to you know, watching film and improving from tonight's game.
Ben, you've been here for a few years now, and I feel like your culture as a team is to always play the next play. But how hard is that, and why do you all think you're so good at maybe just no matter what happens, the game is the game, we're going to keep fighting and scratching and clawing?
I mean, as a team, you know, we have a lot of guys on the team, like I said, who are ready to step up. You know, and like I said, everybody's ready to step up. Everybody wants to go out there and fight. You know, I think that's the identity of our team. You know, just to going out there and playing relentless, playing you know, fearless. And like I said, man, tonight was great. It was a great learning experience, and we have the chance to go out there and play as hard as we can for the next game.
As the game went on, how did you walk away from this game? You guys were so close but couldn't get it done, yet kept fighting with who you had available.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Obviously, injuries, never easy. And yeah, we need everybody back. But I thought everyone, you know, fought hard the whole game. And the guys that came in, they gave us energy. They did everything that they could. And playing against a tough team, yeah, it was a good effort. But again, you know, we didn't get the job done at the end. Game one, a lot of film to go and watch and get better at. But yeah, we're going to have to kind of like figure some things out.
Rick said a lot of those actions with you and Ben were kind of created today. Specifically, how did you feel like those went, and do you feel like that's something you guys can continue to rely on?
No, for sure. We can definitely continue to work on that. Obviously, it's probably one of the first times that we had to do it, you know. But I remember telling Coach, like, I mean, this is where you get real practice. You know, preseason is kind of, you don't really get much out of it. So having that first game, being in those situations, I think we're going to learn a lot from it. We're going to watch film, get better, talk a little bit about how we can attack it, our communication, our chemistry. So it's going to be. I thought we did good, but I just think we can do better.
You only had one foul, but you had 37 as a team. What did you feel like for you guys was leading to many of those or breakdowns?
Yeah, it's just I think we can get into, you know, like them getting a center whistle or whatever. But I thought, you know, we just weren't disciplined like a lot of plays, and we got to be better at that. A lot of shot fakes, and it's a great play on the other side. You know, he knows how to do that stuff and get to the line and do all those things. So we definitely got to improve on that because we can't live with that. I don't know how many free throws they shot, but it seems like a lot.
To go back just to the Mathurin actions with you and Ben, I mean, what seems like you guys have developed at least some level of chemistry, even though there hasn't been a lot of that, you know, stuff where it's a play just involving you two guys. What kind of potential do you see for that combination, but just based on your skill sets and how you guys work?
Yeah, no, I think being able to both attack the paint, create, I think just understanding each other's angles a little bit better, how we can screen off of each other. Like I thought there was times where we could have been better at that, but I think for me, we know how aggressive he is. Like I love his aggressiveness, the fact that he can get to the paint, he's strong, and he was making shots also. So I think that combination with me being able to get to the pocket and also improving as a shooter, I think it could be a good combination.
I know I asked you the other day about how you thought things might change in terms of how you guys are defended. Just after having played a full basketball game, even if you had a lot of change in the midst of it, I mean, what did you learn tonight about how you guys are going to have to operate differently?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think obviously we keep losing guards, so I think as a team it's gonna be hard. We're gonna have to figure out how to get that part of the game, and I think we have some big wings that can do things, and I think all the other guards that probably didn't really have like ball handling responsibility, you're gonna have to do that. And I think on defense, we got to be more scrappy. I thought we did a decent job tonight. We just didn't finish a lot of the possessions because we fouled. But it's gonna take this for us to win games, and I think we got to understand that. And what's gonna make us special is being able to do that every single night. I think a lot of teams, say they want to do it, but you have to do it every single night. And for us to be successful, we have to do that. There's no in between.
And just what impressed you about some of the guys that got thrown in? Shep, Talon,
Yeah,
Jarris.
no, I thought they were good. Again, it's not an easy situation to be put in that just first game against the defending champs, like going out there, close game, being able to make plays and execute. The rookie, it's a lot of variables into that, and it's a lot to ask of them to do that. But I thought they did a good job of just staying within themselves and playing. And what I was trying to tell some of them is give them a little bit more confidence to make plays and attack whenever somebody set the screen on you. Don't pick the ball up, like little things like that. Where I feel like the confidence of just being out there is gonna keep growing, and your only teacher is the experience, right? So once you get to the game, you start getting those games under your belt. I think you're going to continue to get better. So I thought they did pretty good.
Pascal, you've taken Jarris under your wing throughout your time here in Indiana. What'd you like from him tonight? Just a variety of things he was able to do, whether it was creating for others, scoring, and also defending.
Yeah, no, I think again he has the tools, and I've told him that a million times. It's just a matter of having that grit and having that confidence and just going out there, playing free, not thinking. And I thought he did good tonight, defending, and obviously a couple of turnovers, but just play free. Just go out there, have fun. And I told him we got to work on a couple of other things, on those swings and being able to drive, attack the paint, like all the stuff that I feel like he can do, and he just gotta do it. And I think obviously you get minutes, right? So you're gonna be out there, and now you have the opportunity to show those things, and I think the more you're out there, the more you can get better at them.
Ben said that he wasn't necessarily looking to score, that he was just kind of focusing on making the right play. How have you seen him grow in terms of his decision making and just continuing to make the right basketball plays?
Yeah, he's growing, and I think obviously you're getting the minutes, you're getting the opportunity. Like I said, you're going to be out there. You have to do those things, and I think he's doing a great job of just reading the game and just playing. And for me, it's just like being aggressive and knowing when to make the right play. I think that's all it is, and I think he's been doing that well, and he played well tonight for us. And I think he's going to be a big part of what we do as a team. So we just gotta stay on it.
All right, joined now by Tony East with Locked On Pacers, one of the best in the business. Tony, we just heard from the players and Coach Carlisle after this game. I guess overall, game one of the season, but you know how badly they wanted this one, right? What are your, major takeaways in a sense?
Yeah, the fact that they were able to keep fighting with who they had was impressive despite the loss. I think that they did a good job showing that post-game. Clearly disappointment in tone from the players and Rick Carlisle. They really wanted to win that finals rematch to start the season, and they played quite well. They made a bunch of tough shots late. They played with a new system and style, inventing new plays for Ben Mathurin and Pascal Siakam, but they just ran out of guys. Too many injuries, too many foul-outs for them to really get it done late. And
I kind of wanted to harp on Benny in this one, too, with kind of the season that people are kind of expecting him to take that extra step, right? And then he gets the starting, roll in with Tyrese being out, that sort of thing, more minutes, whatnot. His performance, though, tonight, impressive to say the least. I don't know if I expected that, I guess, right out of the gate. I guess he sort of had to do something like that in some situations in terms of scoring, but I think overall you heard him back just talking about his decision-making, his maturity this year, too.
Yeah, approaching 40 points is always, an exciting game from him. I think he might have got it if he didn't foul out of the game. And I think the best thing I could say about what he did is, had he not fouled out, they might have won the game. Like, that was immediately when the game flipped, is when the Pacers lost him, because without all their point guards, he was by far their best guy at giving them rim pressure, attacking, and they lost that when he left the game. But he was playing so well, and the way this game was being played with so many free throws, very choppy and very slow, he's very good at getting to the basket and drawing contact, and he did it over and over again in this game. He really took advantage of what was given to him and what the Pacers wanted to do in a way that matters tonight. It will matter in a lot of their games this season.
And I know the big story now, I guess, over the next 24, 48 hours is going to be the status of Andrew Nembhard, left after the first half, did not return. So then now Carlisle has to put his coaching hat on again by how he's going to maneuver all of these players. But we saw guys that kind of stepped in today with like Ben Shepherd, Taylor Peter. I think Jarris Walker did a really well job of just kind of filling in for not having a true point guard on the floor. What did you like about that scenario this evening?
Yeah, I thought they did really well given the circumstance. You wonder at some point, are they going to be out of passing or enough playmaking? But their system just gets the ball moving just enough that even without Tyrese Halliburton's brilliance, they were able to have a nice semblance of offense, and they probably made a tough shot or two that isn't something you can expect. But they, did pretty well with the resources they have. But they had them at some point in the game, and now they won't potentially have Andrew Nembhard for a little bit. We'll see what the shoulder injury is. He didn't come out at all for the second half we're playing this game. And of guys you'd consider nominal or traditional point guards, Quentin Jackson's hurt, Tyrese Halliburton's hurt, TJ McConnell's hurt, Andrew Nembhard's hurt. It's just Ray-J Dennis left, and Cam Jones hurt too. He's kind of a combo guard. So they're just out of guys that could reasonably play that position. So anybody who can handle it all or get to the paint is going to be extremely valuable and needed in these coming games.
Pascal Siakam, of course, another big game from him. I believe 32 points, 15 rebounds. What'd you just like from his play overall on the floor?
Yeah, man, he might be an all-star this year if the Pacers are good. I mean, probably should be an all-star. He was last year, and they're going to need him to do that kind of thing. You could tell he was tired at times in this game because of the Herculean effort required of him to keep them in it. I mean, tough shots over Lou Dort, getting to the paint. His defense is sublime for this team now in a way that's really developed since they traded for him. And, hitting the glass is huge, especially because they turned away from centers. They were playing Obi Toppin and Pascal Siakam as their front court for much of crunch time. You got to hit the glass as those forwards in those moments, and he did a wonderful job in a lot of those ways there. If they had won this game, I think him and Mathurin, those kind of efforts that they put out would have been the reason why, but they ran out of Mathurin. They ran out of guys.
Yeah. And, of course, when you have SGA scoring a career-high 55 points, getting to the line, the amount of times that he does, you're right. It was it just sort of ran out of gas there at the end. This, of course, was the second straight game that the Thunder have played double overtime. You could see all the players, I think, during that second overtime were a little bit worn down in this one. So I guess we'll cap it off with this. We sort of talked about, the disappointment of being on the losing end here, but what did you like about tonight, and what gives you some optimism heading, game one, but heading forward from here?
I thought they largely played well given the opponent. I mean, the Thunder were obviously missing quite a few key players too, but the expectation for the Pacers, without point guards, you just never know how it's going to look. They're establishing a new kind of identity and pace without Halliburton this year. Their preseason was very choppy. Sometimes they look great, sometimes they look terrible. I think today, for most of the game, they looked very competitive, right? They could fight, they could battle, they had answers with whoever's on the floor. They had a rotation that makes sense. Sure, they didn't win. They missed some threes. I think they went one of 11 after making their first three. Like, that can be better going forward. But I think they'll be happy in general with their offensive process to know that it was a little things lost. You fouled like crazy. You couldn't get some key stops late. And if you clean those things up, you can beat a team that isn't quite as impressive as this Thunder team.
All right, well, the Pacers are going to be on the road in their next game on Saturday at 8 o'clock against the Memphis Grizzlies. And, of course, Tony East, appreciate it as always for joining us. We're going to have all your coverage of the Pacers all season long over the air on Channel 13 as well as right here on WTHR+. Tony, thanks again. Appreciate you. I'm Eli Gain. Have a good day.